College Football 26 development has officially begun, and there are some features that were just released online that beta testers say are very likely going to be in the game. So in this video today, I wanted to go over those features and let you guys know what effect they will have on the upcoming game next July and how they'll play into the whole grand scheme of things, as well as some reactions and some other stuff that has to do with it. But with that being said, let's get straight into it as I go over the first feature. The first one simply says high school gameplay and road to glory, which could mean a lot of different things, but from what I can tell, this is already going to be a great addition. In July, we were pretty sad to find out there was no high school, gameplay. A couple of people said, it was good. They didn't like to go through all that hassle of doing the high school games, but for most of us, we like to play high school games, and myself included. So seeing that it will most likely come back to College Football 26 is a very good addition, I feel like, to the game. It makes it more immersive, especially seeing as Road to Glory has been bare bones, and that's one of the biggest complaints about College Football 25 is that one of the flagship modes is just there's not much going on for it. So adding high school, it will definitely kind of flesh it out and make it more fun to play for the majority of people, even if it's only a couple games. Another thing I want to talk about is that I hope they do add the All-American game. I think that's a really cool feature that they missed out on because they didn't have high school, but if they do choose to add high school, making it to the All-American game could be a crazy, big deal. It could boost your, prospect or whatever. And then you can even do the hat signing thing that they do in real life where, they take them on the sideline and film them. So I think an addition like that would be super cool. And there's a lot of stuff they could do with high school, especially seeing how far we've come since NCAA 14. The second feature on the list is the trophy room, and this is another huge complaint. So this is looking good, as if they're trying to fix the complaints that people have had. Basically, the people complained that trophy rooms were very bare bones. You got your bowl games, you got your national championships, but there was just something missing. And so all we have to go off is trophy room, 2 words, but that's a good sign that hopefully they're going to flesh it out and make trophy room actually something to be proud of and have more going for it. I don't know exactly what it's missing off the top of my head, but I'm just saying that I know trophy room is an issue that people have been having. So if they're going to try to fix it, that's a really good thing for College Football 26, and it'll hopefully add some more, depth to Dynasty and maybe even Road to Glory if they, have your own personal trophy room or something like that. Third on the list is another feature that people have been really wanting to see in College Football 25. So coming to College Football 26 most likely will be formation subs. That's the one thing people complain about, is there are no formation subs. People are saying, why didn't they have these? They're so prevalent in college football in real life. They were in NCAA 14. Just why are they absent from the game? So it's a little bit like too late, I feel like, but at least they're gonna add them next year. So formation subs is definitely something that I'm looking forward to, as well as almost everyone else. I can't think of one person that would say they wouldn't want formation subs in the game. So I definitely think it'll be a good addition, but once again, should have been in it this year. I don't know why they didn't add it this year, but at least they're listening to us, and at least they're gonna add it next year. The next one, I'm not going to lie, is a little bit weird. It's a little bit hard to understand or convoluted or whatever you want to say, but basically it says storyline / presentation will be focused on player and road to glory, which at face value doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but here's basically what I think it's going to be and what they're trying to say with this. So I definitely think that Road to Glory is bare bones. I've already said it once in this video. I say it about every video I make, is that Road to Glory isn't good enough. So by making storylines surrounding your player and Road to Glory, I think that could be a good thing. I don't know how exactly that's going to work. I don't know if it's going to be more kind of player relationship stuff where, I don't know, you're building relationships and then there's storylines with that. Maybe your friend, I don't know, gets arrested or something. I don't care. But if they're going to add storylines like that, maybe in 2K, I think that could be a good, a good addition to Road to Glory. Presentation, I don't know exactly what that means. Once again, I mean, when you look at something like my career in 2K, it is focused around you, you have all your stuff surrounding you, but I just think this whole kind of point is kind of mysterious and doesn't make a whole lot of sense. There's nothing that's elaborated. It just is one singular post that I'm going off of. So what I'm saying is just kind of my take of what's actually going on with this post. But with that being said, we're going to move on. That one didn't make a lot of sense. But the next one is going to be deeper news story depth in Dynasty, which again, it's very easy to understand what this means. Basically, you have your news stories, but really they're like, oh, upset, Stanford beat Louisville 45-20, and that's all you get. You get Heisman watch, this player's up. So if we get some more news stories, that will add the immersion effect to make it feel like real life. I don't know exactly how they would do this, but they've done it in the past with other games. You know, a lot of different sports games have their own news pages and kind of social media and stuff like that, so it won't be that hard to implement, but this will be a great feature to add in Dynasty next year, as it will improve immersion. And that's one thing people didn't really like, is that Dynasty wasn't immersive enough. Number 6 is dynamic deal breakers in Dynasty, which to me, this sounds like when you're having a bad season or something like that, a player is going to decommit or just block you out because you're having a bad season. Or maybe if they find another school that has something better than you, they're going to raise their deal breaker. And, you know, maybe if it's program prestige and you have Alabama versus UMass, you know, maybe they start out at, they just need a D, you know, program prestige, but then when they get an offer from Alabama, they raise it up to B to get some more competitive offers, I guess is how I'm taking it. Another one that's just the words, you know, the words that I can read, and then I'm just going off of that. But that's basically what I'm taking it as, is that deal breakers will change throughout the season. It won't be the same ones you have week 1 as week 12, and I assume they'll change based on what type of offers they're getting from the type of schools, and maybe if people withdraw offers, stuff like that, it will make them change their deal breakers, especially if they're getting desperate for a good offer at the end of the year. So maybe if you're a school that's good but it doesn't have that one thing they need, they'll change it so that they can get accepted into your school. The last thing on this list, number 7, says manual player progression in Dynasty. And basically what this means is that I guess you're going to get to upgrade players as you go through the season, or maybe in the off season, because one of the things people complain about Dynasty is that once you kind of get all those player upgrades, they happen all at once at the end of the season, and they just have a red or green arrow. There's not really any plus or minus. There's not how much they went up, because you had that in NCAA 14, you don't have that now. So that's one thing people complain about. So I guess this is somewhat of a solution to that. It's not exactly, you know, black and white what people wanted, but it makes sense. Manual player progression. If you want your quarterback, you know, get faster or something, then you can progress their speed and, you know, agility and stuff like that, or vice versa. If you want them to get better at throwing, I guess you can progress that. And once again, I don't know if this means throughout the season, or maybe in the off season you have 1 week where you go through all your maybe star players and you choose what you want them to become better at, and then the rest maybe you just tell your assistant to do or something like that, because who wants to spend time going through 60 players and doing all that? But I definitely think this could be a good addition, especially if maybe you're divvying up the practice time during the week. I just had this idea, maybe it does sound good, where, you know, you choose how you want your practices to be scheduled, and then that affects how players are developing based on what you're choosing to practice when you're, you know, week in and week out. So stuff could be like, I don't know, running, which increases speed and agility. Like I said, for maybe you could assign wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks to that, or you could have team building stuff that increases chemistry, kind of like Football Manager. If you've ever played that game, you can allot how you want your practices to go, and then you know, your team gets upgrades or your players get upgrades based on what you choose. So, but that being said, those are the 7 new additions that are most likely. I'm saying most likely. It's about 95% chance, because they are the beta testers that are playing the game, but it is in development right now, so it's not 100% confirmed. But thank you so much for watching if you made it this far, and hopefully you subscribe and like and come back for the next one. So I will see you